Namaste, my fellow truth seeker. In this one, I want to go into the importance of dwelling and diving deep into the darkness. And by the darkness, I mean the moments in our life that are where they make or break us. The darkness is very necessary. One could argue that if all you have ever had in your life is light, then if you've never seen anything other than light, can you really see how bright that light is if there is no darkness around it? I think there's very few people that have really been able to live a life full of entirely light. And if they have been, I feel like they're a little delusional. Maybe they're, you know, very strong in their, beliefs or religion. And, maybe they know something or have something that I don't. Um, but I feel that it's very important to acknowledge the darkness inside all of us. It needs to be faced. We as humans are dehumanized as soon as we exit out of the womb. We are aimed to be dishumanized, and the darkness helps us find ourselves. The darkness is necessary. It really is. Without the darkness, I'm only able to speak for myself, of course, but without the darkness, you can't ascertain things the same. You give, say you see everything or only light in everything. Can you really give the distinction of what something may need or not? Guidance is one thing, and love is another. Guidance is, in a guardian sense, it can be someone that is looking out for your best interests. Well, you could call that love, I guess, in ways, but the difference between what I'm speaking about is the difference in understanding consequence in action versus kind of sugarcoating everything, patting you on the back, almost blindly assuring you. I just don't feel that's a constructive way to go about things. I feel like you should be able to face the darkness, and that's where you're able to really see who is real or not, and in yourself. For example, like, myself, and the times that I may have struggled with, porn or lust in my, teenage years or earlier 20s. It's gotten to the point where I'm at now to where, like, I can see all of that, and it's like I know what it is, and it doesn't faze me the same. I feel more upset and disgusted and empathetic for my past self. and anyone that dwells in any of that deviation, that is one of the biggest things I would suggest any young man, any human, to separate themselves from all this revolting deviation, sexual deviation. It it's very there's as far as I can tell psychologically wise, what better way is there to hypnotize and brainwash someone than through their genitals, through their you know uh, every person you see that's alive on this planet came from that energy, and people just they totally disregard that. It's a real issue. If we don't identify this, then we never really find out how powerful we are. We kind of become complacent, and all of the things offered to us, all these ideals and presentations of romantics and relationships, and we take a lot of things for face value. Lord, would you help me be a conduit right now of what to say next? See, our physical eyes, we interpret the world through only them too much. What we physically see. There are all these things that put limitations on our beliefs of what we're able to do or not, what we're able to feel or not. Our gut instinct, our psychic abilities, our empathic, and what's the other word? Compassion. All this is confused. So, darkness is necessary. It is a beautiful thing, and it helps us identify everything, and we all need to get back to source, to purpose, to God, to love. God is love, love is God. The thing about the darkness is that it is the dead end place where you have no choice but to face yourself and find yourself. And, you know, if you're a God fearing man, human, there's, you can't fight it. You can't be a real example if you haven't faced yourself, if you can't love yourself while facing yourself. If God can forgive you and love you and face you, why can't you do that to yourself? You know? Now, this is different than letting the darkness consume you. And you can let that happen through your own emotions, through your own urges and bad decisions, through your, influences through your cell phone and media and so on. So I'm not saying to to run into the darkness. I'm saying that you shouldn't be afraid of it when it does come around. You should be able to sit in it and face it because you're in control, because God's got your back. You have to see a purpose in all of it. If you are able to come out of this, you know, you're going to be a something that everybody else needs. And it's just an example, and just that you were here and you didn't lose yourself, you're still on earth. You didn't change who you were because you were weak in these dark moments. You had faith that God was right there with you, and that there's a divine plan, a divine mission. People really lose themselves in all this mess. You know, and there's no room for middle ground in between everything. When the darkness comes in, that is where you have the choice to, or well, you have no choice but to act now or let it consume you. It is the dead end, or you must face yourself, like I said.